close your eyes if you want to. So let's start with feel in, which is emotional sensations, physical sensations that happen in your body that are connected with emotion. And sort of one way to do this, it might sometimes be, if we're just like sitting here not doing much, there might not be a whole lot of obvious emotion that's happening. But what you can do is you can kind of check in with your body, and if there's a sensation that's drawing your attention, you can notice that sensation and just sort of ask yourself, is there any quality to that sensation that's emotional? And just kind of make it easy on yourself. If the answer is no, then the answer is no. But if the answer is yes, like, yeah, I can sense some part of that that's emotional in nature. You can point to that with the label, feel in. If the answer is no, you could, if you want, you could label it feel rest. It's a form of feel rest. If our object of meditation is the emotional sensation and you're not noticing any, then you can notice feel rest. Not to confuse things, or you could just do nothing until you notice another sensation. And if you check in with that and ask yourself if there's any emotional component to that, even slightly, you can label that as, if the answer is yes, you can label that as feel in. If the answer is no, you can label it as feel rest, or you could just do nothing until something else comes up to look at. And keep floating around and noticing sensations that might be arising in your body, and asking yourself if there's any emotional component to that. And if so, label that feel in. Maybe other distractions, thoughts or sounds or pain in your body. Keep coming back to sensations that might arise. Ask yourself if there are any emotional component to that sensation. If so, label it as feel in. Potential emotional sensations could come in a number of flavors. Could be frustration, anger, irritation, anxiety, worry, fear, sadness, grief, impatience, joy, love. Those are just a few that I can think of off the top of my head. There could be a number of different flavors. Boredom might be a kind of. So notice sensations that are arising. Check in with those sensations as to whether or not they have any emotional component whatsoever. And if so, label that feel in. So if there is any like pain or discomfort that's coming to the surface, there's a good chance that with those, if you check in with those sensations, especially sort of intense, maybe uncomfortable or semi-intense, uncomfortable or pain, things like that, there's a good chance that there's some, if you check in with that there's some component of emotional flavor around that. It's possible that you could find that there's more than one thing present. You could find that there's grief or sadness, but at the same time you could find that there's also joy, or sort of seemingly opposing things can exist in different parts of you at the same time. Keep checking in with the sensations that might be arising, checking in with them as to whether or not there's an emotional component that you can detect. And if so, label that as feel in. If not, you can label it as feel rest, or just leave it. Okay, so that was feel in. Now we're going to take a look at feel out. So that is any physical sensation, really, that you can feel inside your body. It could be that in or on your body. It could be sensations generated as a result of your breathing, or organs moving, or gurgling stomach, or a full bladder, or it could be as a result of energy moving, tingling, hot, cold, numbness, pain or discomfort. It could be the feeling of your butt on the cushion. It could be the clothes touching your skin. It could be the breeze from the fan brushing up against your skin. Just kind of broadly float, check in with your body, sort of explore those physical sensations that might arise. And just once you find one to pay attention to, just kind of spend a few minutes, maybe a minute, paying attention to it, noticing where it is exactly, where the shape of it is. Is it dense, or is it solid or not solid, or sort of exploring it with your attention. And labeling it as feel out. Maybe just stick with it long enough to maybe see that it changes in some way and then move to something else. Or if you like, you can just stick at the same thing and just keep paying attention to that and seeing what happens. You can kind of do different things with your attention to kind of work with things. If there's anything coming up, that sensation that might be particularly, drawing your attention, if there is any discomfort or pain, it doesn't have to be, it can be any sensation, but if there's anything like that that's drawing your attention, see if you can sort of zoom in on it. Notice it really closely, like bring it to the forefront of your, it's like with a microscope, you're like, bringing it really close to your seeing and your attention, really looking at it really closely. Close up, trying to see the details of it. Exactly what the shape of it is, exactly where it is. Exactly the texture. round or is it jagged? Is it, have corners or is it thin or is it thick? Is it dense or is it fluffy? Now see if you can sort of like drill your attention into it. Place yourself, your attention inside of it. You can use the label "feel out" to sort of soak into what it is that you're feeling as you drill into whatever you're noticing. As you place yourself sort of inside of it. Feel out as you're sort of drilling into placing yourself inside of whatever sensation that might be drawing your attention. Okay, so you can also try, you've done that, you can try zooming out. You can look at it from far away. Look at a thing sort of, you can look at it from the perspective of your whole body. Or you could look at it from the, even outside of your body. You can look at it from the perspective of the world. Or, yeah, sort of like zoom out as far as you want, or just play with that, noticing this thing, the sensation that you may be noticing from a distance. And whenever you check in with the thing that you're noticing, sort of remind yourself of it by labeling it "feel out." Okay. Now we're going to work with feel rest a little bit again. Maybe in a little different way. If there's something that seems to be drawing your attention, something that may be uncomfortable or painful, potentially. Sort of notice it, but notice where its boundaries are. And see if you can notice outside, that if there's something that, if it's uncomfortable or painful, there's a chance that it sort of feels where the discomfort or the pain is, that it feels dense in some way. And it doesn't have to be an uncomfortable or painful thing, but you might notice where there's a sort of density of the sensation that draws your attention. Sort of notice the edges of it and how it, where the density starts to relax and it starts to turn into more space. Where the boundaries of it, starts to go from being the thing that the uncomfortable, painful thing, to the space around it. Kind of notice it in relationship to the space around it. And label that space as feel rest. That space around it could just be right around it. It could be like most of your body around it. It could be like, the whole universe around it. Just play with noticing, maybe noticing something that's more dense, or that sensation that's drawing your attention, but noticing a relationship with the space around it. Labeling that space as feel rest to help you draw your attention, sort of soak into that. Okay. So it could be that all of this sort of noticing the sensation, noticing the space around it, drilling into it, backing away from it, that we're paying attention, like we've done in previous exercises, paying attention to the different parts of it, components of it, so on and so forth. It might be that it's sort of, fluffing it up. It might be that it's creating some flow. You might be aware of some flow in your system. Could be the thing, that which is uncomfortable or painful, could be sort of vibrating or scintillating or moving in some way. that could mean that it's like increasing in intensity or decreasing in intensity. That's movement. It's kind of a way of flow. Could be like, again, sort of like vibration or movement in some way. If it's like stretching or if it's gripping or and contracting, there's movement there. Or if it's getting greater in intensity or less in intensity, there's movement there. Any way in which there's movement. Check in with your body and see if you notice anything in your body that resembles that movement quality. If you find something like that, bring your attention to that and label it as feel flow. Let's focus on the movement quality that might be happening somewhere in your body. Vibrating, scintillating, stretching, gripping, pushing out, expanding, contracting, getting greater in intensity or lessening in intensity. These are all forms of movement or flow. Feel flow. If there was something uncomfortable or painful that you were noticing, if you maybe noticed the edges of it, you might think it was solid, but if you notice the edges of it, that actually there's movement there in some way. It's not as solid as you thought it was. Feel flow. Emotional sensation arising, that's feel flow. If you're feeling some constant emotion, like you're feeling really impatient, that keeps showing up, or you're feeling grief or angry or sadness or impatience, or if it keeps sort of coming to the surface, that's feel flow as well. Noticing where there's movement, feel flow. Label it, that movement, as feel flow. As far as discomfort or pain goes, throbbing or stabbing or so all just movement and all of those things. so you can let the feel flow go. Now just pick one that maybe was your favorite. If there was anywhere in there that you thought, oh, that was really, or noticed something cool. We did feel in, where we were noticing emotional sensations in our body by noticing a sensation, asking yourself if there's any emotional quality and labeling that as feel in. We did feel out, which is noticing the, any sensations that might be happening, the touch of your clothes on your skin, pain, discomfort, organs doing their thing, a full bladder, tension, energy moving, breathing, your breath, the feeling of your breathing. So, breeze on your skin. We also did feel rest, relaxation sensation in your body, space, the space around things that might seem more solid. Just feel rest, and then feel flow, any movement quality. So feel in, feel out, feel rest, or feel flow. In, out, rest, or flow. Check in with maybe if one of those that was your favorite or interesting or something. Feel in for emotions, feel out for sensations, feel rest for the space, more spacious aspects, or feel flow for movement. Okay, guys, great work. Let all that go. Open your eyes at your leisure or not.